Welcome back to Dom's Corner, everybody. I am your host, Dom Martino, and sitting over to my left on the news, as always, is Miss Samee Ramirez. Samee, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Great.
Excited to talk about this news.
Me too, for sure. And we're going to get into the Oscars today, guys, since we didn't have time last week, so that'll be a lot of fun. Also got a lot of other things to talk about as well, so should be a great time today. Looks like we got all the lag fixed here, so everybody can quit complaining. Yay. Excuse me. Don't have my coffee fixed, though. That's still a problem, so you're going to have to bear with me through that. But so yeah, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun today, and a lot of news. Not a lot of news, little news, but the Oscars should take up some time. But hey, guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. Appreciate that very much. And yeah, so I got to tell you, Sammy, you know what I was binging today?
What's up?
As a show that you probably haven't seen since you were an infant, if you've seen it at all. Because I don't know if you were like, I don't know if you're like at the cutoff point for this show. You know what I mean? Because it was definitely huge when I was growing up. But ready for this?
Okay. Yes.
Boy Meets World.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen that much of it.
Wow. So you're like
I was kind of at the cutoff.
Because people in my generation, it's almost like un-American to not have seen that show.
Wow.
Like, so we're going to have to, I was thinking about it while I was
What network was that on? ABC?
It was ABC. So it aired on ABC. And
let me ask you real quick. So did you also grow up watching like Disney Channel? Like all of the Disney Channel shows?
Yes.
What era? What was like, okay, a lot of them?
I was like the Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire era.
Right. Okay, that's the early era.
But like before
that's like the early years of the golden era.
Really, it was, yeah. But before that, really all Disney had, like when I was like getting home from school or over summer vacation, is they would play reruns of Boy Meets World like constantly.
Right.
So that's why
that's how I remember seeing it.
Huge in my era.
Reruns of Disney Channel.
Yeah. But I was thinking about it today, since Disney Plus has their watch along option. Like you and I gotta do a Boy Meets World like binge. We're just gonna go through the whole thing. It's so easy to watch. It's so much fun. It is like one of the best of all time. It really is. Like, and it's like, it's like, the more the show goes on, the more self-aware it becomes of itself.
Right.
So it just becomes hilarious. And it's like, because it does. It starts out as a cheesy family show, which honestly it executes itself better in the beginning as most cheesy family shows. But like then it gets to this point where it just runs out of ideas, right? And then so you're like, so the whole thing just becomes so self-aware of that. And like anytime I love this freaking show, because every time there's like continuity errors within it, like the show becomes self-aware of that as well. Like it just knows its audience, and it knows like exactly where it was being aired. Like they got that, they always talked about this, like if you ever listen to their behind the scenes stuff, that they always got this like they got this really crappy time slot on ABC. But it was almost like a blessing in disguise, because it was like enough people were watching to keep it on, but like it was still that time slot that like nobody really cared. So they were never really bothered by like executives and stuff. They were just like, we need you guys to fill the space kind of thing. You know what I mean? And in that time slot on ABC. And so they were just like, they really like did whatever the heck they wanted. And so that's like why they were able to, like, in my opinion, just be so different from every other show in the genre, because it just, like, again, it's so self-aware that it's like a corny ABC show. You know what I mean?
Right.
It knows it is. It's not dumb. Like the writers,
it's not trying to be anything other than itself.
Yeah, and the writers are just so smart in that way. And like when they just have nothing else to do with some of the characters. They just make them like completely different characters almost. Like they change
Right,
their
right.
you can change their personalities on the drop of a dime, but it works because their writers are actually that good.
Sure.
And they're like, again,
Right.
they didn't have ABC, you know, holding them down or holding them back. They were just like, yeah, we're just gonna do whatever we want because nobody bothers us regardless of what we do. So
Hmm.
it's awesome. But you and I got to binge this thing because it's so freaking funny. Like it is just the best. Like I was watching the first
Yeah.
season today, and I haven't seen the first season in a long time, and I was just like, yeah, see, this stuff is like, I don't know, there's something about the feel of it, the whole ridiculousness of it. It's just, it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It
I always really liked the Disney World episode. That was the one that always stuck out in my mind that I always remembered.
right, yeah. That was the
Yeah.
one.
And they're going down Splash Mountain. They accidentally sleep in a Splash Mountain log and they wake up and
Yeah,
it like how ridiculous is that they accidentally fall
yeah,
asleep in a
exactly,
Splash Mountain log and then they
exactly.
wake up by the drop going down like
Exactly. It's like only in this show
yeah,
could they get away with it. It's
exactly.
great though. It knows it's dumb, you know?
Hmm.
It does. It really does. It's like that's why like I mean if you look at it, it's actually like if you it's one of the highest rated sitcoms. And like what's really
Oh,
funny
it's
is
huge. It got, have you ever seen Girl Meets World? I've seen a little bit of Girl Meets World, its sequel.
I watched the whole thing just because I'm a fan. I don't think it's nearly as
Oh,
good
nice.
as
Uh-huh.
Boy Meets World, like nearly as
Yeah.
good. But because I'm a fan, I obviously checked it out and
Oh wow.
watched the whole
Nice.
thing and I binged it. And
Yeah.
like I always felt bad for that show because they were like just starting to get to that level of
Mm,
greatness that Boy Meets World has, and then like
right.
it just like I felt like it got canceled like right then and there. And it's like
Uh-huh.
it's honestly because they started out so rough though. You know what I mean? That show,
Right.
and then like yeah, so I did check that out. I just yeah, Boy Meets World is it's like top tier to me. Like they just I don't know, they know how to balance their self-aware ridiculous humor with the storylines that are going on at the same time. You know what I mean? They balance it so
Right.
well to where it's just it created something. It's really its own entity of sitcom. It's not like any other sitcom you'll see. It's its own entity for sure. And
For sure.
they also said it, which is also crazy about how people just came to discover it like after the reruns, you know, were playing on Disney. This is when they were on
Right.
ABC. It was like big enough to where they were able to stay
Hmm.
on again, but it wasn't like huge. It wasn't this cultural
Right.
phenomenon. So it wasn't really till my generation was coming up. You know what I mean? Like me and my sister, we knew we turned on Disney Channel. We're watching Boy Meets World. You know, and so like that was I spent a lot of days doing that and. Yeah, I think that show like that's another thing when I watch it. I was like, I tell you that show shaped my sense of humor as a person. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It really did. It like I just I don't know.
Right.
That show is just the shit. It's great. It's got a great
Hmm.
cast, great writing, you know, but again, self-aware, you know, it's self-aware of what it is.
Exactly.
So that just always helps it. And I think that's it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna binge it.
Hmm.
Just letting you know, we're binging.
Cool. Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Um. Yeah, I know. No, the other thing I was watching the original Battlestar Galactica today, which was like I've
Never
never
seen it.
actually seen like I've never actually seen any iteration of Battlestar Galactica. I know people are gonna kill me, you know, out there, but so yeah, I got to check out the original. Actually, if you download the E app, you know, like E Network, you know, they have an
Yeah.
app.
E exclamation mark.
Right. And the original series from 1978, it's all on there for free. You got to watch it with ads,
Uh,
but it's all on that app. And so, yeah, I just, I searched it because my Roku, I don't know if you have a Roku. Do you have a Roku? Probably
I
not.
don't. My parents do. I've used one before.
Okay, so do you know how it has like the universal search? So, you know, instead of just
Yes.
like searching for something on a particular streaming service, you just go to their
Right.
universal
Right.
search, tells you which services are on.
Yes.
I don't know what got into me today. I hadn't really not a lot going on. I was like, you know, I've never seen Battlestar Galactica before, and everybody talks about
Yeah.
it. And so, like, I just did the universal search, and I was so surprised to see that it was on the E network. And I was like,
Wow.
hey, you just download that app. It's all on there for free with ads. It's crazy,
Well,
and it's a.
the more you
Uh,
know.
so my consensus on Battlestar Galactica 1978 so far is that it starts out like cheap Star Wars, because
Sure.
when you first start it, basically like what it almost feels like a remake. Like they're trying to remake like the Death Star scene at the end of New Hope, like the Battle of Yavin, you know, at the end of New Hope, because I mean, you got these characters that are, you know, obviously flying ships in space and they're in the middle of a battle, and you could tell that they're clearly trying to capture that like intensity of it. But like the thing that the show had to offer that I feel like is so unique is like it actually takes place on Earth to some degree. Like human beings like that we can relate to because they live like us, you know, are also involved in this overall battle that's going on. I was like, well, that's cool. You know, that's a cool concept.
Right.
So I'm getting into it. I watched like the first 4 episodes today, and I was like, oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everybody says that the one with Katie Sackhoff is the better one. So I'm
What I hear.
looking forward to like watching this original one, getting through it, and then like going to the Katie Sackhoff one, so I can like understand what they're trying to remake. That was always my thing with the Katie Sackhoff one, because I think I put on an episode way back in the day, and I was just like, I don't know that I necessarily understand what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? So like watching
Right.
this original, I feel like will give me some context of like, okay, now
For
I know
sure.
what they're going for in the Katie Sackhoff one. And so hopefully hopefully it pans out. That's the whole reason I put it on, because I really want to watch the new one everybody talks about. So yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend checking it out or not yet. I am not that far into it, but I'm just like, I'm telling you, I'm having fun with it, that's for sure. And I don't think that the characters are all that bad. It's just it's weird because it came out in 78, and I understand it's television, and then like Star Wars came out in 77, but this looks like so much fucking worse, you know, in terms of like
Oof,
it's
right.
so much more
It
dated.
makes you realize how revolutionary and incredible Star
It
Wars
really
actually
does,
is, to
really
compared to
does.
how bad a movie that came out a year after can
Yeah.
look.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
And especially the fact that it
Yeah.
starts out like cheap Star Wars. It is like they're just trying to
Right.
take like the most exciting part of New Hope and, you know, do a version of that in the beginning. But again, I do like the characters. I think that they're fun to follow so far. And I think that they have their own uniquenesses to
That's what I would guess.
yeah,
It's more
exactly.
the characters.
Yeah, and also the fact that they're, you know, they offer the concept of Earth is involved in this. You know what I mean? I think that that's actually really cool,
Hmm.
because typically when you see like sci-fi, except for like maybe the
Right.
MCU and DC, like you know, like typically when you see like sci-fi stuff that takes
To
place out in space,
a
it,
long time ago in a
right.
galaxy far,
It
far
just
away.
they want nothing to do with Earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this show is actually bringing that into it, and it's involving human beings, and seeing like the part that they play in the battle. Like it makes me really start to like it. And I think that it is, in terms of like the space opera vibe, like the closest thing I've seen to Star Wars so far. So
Hmm.
that's really cool. I mean,
It is.
they're getting the vibe down and the fun aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
fun. That's what I like about it. It's so much fun, and it's like, yeah, you got all these different elements that are going on, but I feel like because it's a series, it's definitely going to help me to understand that a lot
Hmm.
more. And yeah, I love shit like this. So you can give me a good like fantasy sci-fi show, I'm into it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd recommend it yet, but I am having fun with it so far. I'll let you know. Like maybe when I get to like
Okay.
the new one, and then like I like fall in love with it. Hopefully from that, you know, I can like come back here and be like, yeah, Sammy, watch this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that'll happen, but we'll see. I don't know. Have you watched anything new lately?
I can't think of anything, honestly. I haven't
Obviously, the
watched, I mean,
Snyder Cut, but
Promising Young Woman and Snyder Cut, obviously. I rewatched Snyder Cut twice.
hmm.
Love that. I watched Promising Young Woman 3 times.
Oh, great! I need to see it
Also,
again. That's for sure.
um, yes, you do. Oh my God, I got better every single time. Watched those. That's really kind of it. Haven't watched much else. Been watching a lot, doing a lot of TikTok recently.
Mm-hmm.
God, you just get in a loophole. You just start watching one video, and then you look at the clock, and it's 4 hours have gone by, and you're like, "What
See, I've tried with
happened?"
TikTok, and that doesn't happen to me. Like I've tried, like
Mm,
I'll come across
I
one or
think you
two that make
need,
me laugh, but
yeah. I don't think you quite. My theory is that I don't know if your For You page is like quite accurate to what
fair
you
enough.
want it to be.
So I got to keep
Yeah.
going until it gets there, essentially, and
Yeah, you
like
got
the
to keep
things that I
searching for, right. You got to keep searching for videos that you like and just make sure you're interacting with videos
possible
that you do like.
possible. There's some
Yeah.
stuff I like on there, just not
Uh-huh.
everything has appealed to me. I mean,
It's all
definitely,
about your corner of TikTok because there is
yeah,
like the mainstream kind of overall thing, but there are a lot of corners
yeah,
that you can find, you can get a lot of good stuff out of.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to like do it more, I guess, and try
Hmm.
to get hooked on it. But then again, it's like I don't know if I want to get hooked into another app like that because like when
Right.
Vine was a thing, I was on that for hours. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
yeah, so it's yeah, this is
See,
like a new
I was
version of that.
never, yeah, I was never on Vine when it was around, but literally like immediately after it was deleted, there was this whole like RIP Vine kind of
Mm-hmm.
movement, I guess, and that was
Right,
me. I was big on that.
right.
Like I remember literally like I don't know, the 6 months after the app got deleted, that's when I started to get into Vine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was huge on Vine.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you, by the way, this I wanted to definitely talk to you about. Did you watch Nomadland yet?
No, I haven't completed it. I'm
Okay.
about 30 minutes and my brother though watched it. I recommended it to him. It sounded like something that would be up his alley.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched it. He really liked it. The problem I've been having with it is that it's just so slow and it's having a hard time hooking me in. And that was the first thing he said. He was like, "Oh, it was slow as hell."
Oh, it
But he's
is.
like, "But I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it."
It's
Yeah.
absolutely a slow burn, but I like slow burns. I
I
actually
do too. It's just it's not really like grabbing me,
yeah
you know.
I just saw it. I loved it.
Nice.
Honestly, I thought it
As a
was
yeah.
fantastic. I think that
The consensus is it's long, but it's good. Or it's slow, but at the end you'll be like, "Oh, that was really good."
yeah. See, I think that
It'll
like
be worth it.
we'll get into Oscars later. I think that like Carrie Mulligan definitely like deserves it because she hasn't gotten it before. But
Right.
like if Frances McDormand wins, it's she is the
It's
better performance.
deserved.
She's the better performance. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like she is the better
Hmm.
performance. I like Promising Young Woman better as a film, but like I
Hmm.
think that like Frances McDormand definitely like she did perform better than Carrie Mulligan, 110%. Like Nomadland is great, and I'll
Nice.
go non spoiler here obviously, but like
Cool.
Nomadland is fantastic. It's again like you were saying, it is a slow burn, but if you just got nothing going on, put it on and just power through it because
Right.
it really is just like well, by the time you get to the end of it, you're like that was like a real feel good movie. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's an element of it that's really feel good, and I think it's the way that Frances McDormand approaches it is because she kind of has this thing where it's like her life really sucks. I mean, obviously, her life, it really is not good. It sucks, but she maintains this like positivity throughout the films,
Hmm.
and you're just like you get so latched on to that, and that's kind of what hooked me into it. Also, like I loved how realistic it felt throughout it. That's the other thing.
It
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 feels very real.
because it is
Yeah,
realistic, you know.
yeah, exactly. I love that rawness that it captured, and I liked learning about this lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That I've never taken the time to educate myself on,
Hmm.
and like this does that for you. It definitely
Yeah.
like shows you how it really is, and I think
Mhm.
that's amazing. It really is, and like I mean,
Yeah.
there's things that I mean I'm not gonna spoil, but there's
Hmm.
definitely some real detailed things to the point that in parts it's definitely disturbing. You know what I mean? But on the same hand, by the end of it, you really are rooting for her character because she is so
Yeah.
positive, and she's like, this is something that she wants to do. You know what I mean? Like her lifestyle is something that she wants in the movie, and I think that is something that is amazing on some level and fascinating, and you really get a dive into her mind and why she is the way she is. Fern is the name of the character, and
Hmm.
you really follow Fern through this really incredible journey. It feels like a really incredible journey by the time you're done with it because of all the different places that she's traveled and things like that, and you're just like, I would watch that again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was slow and it was slower getting into it, but like by the time you're done with it, you're like, I'll definitely watch that again. That was a lot of fun. I wouldn't watch it as much as say like a Promising Young Woman, but I
Right.
definitely want to see it again if it ever came on TV or something. I'd put it on. It's definitely it does. It has this like adventurous vibe to it, and like it just makes you feel really good. And
Right.
but you're also, and you're peeking through the window of these people's lives at the same time, to where it just really felt that realistic to me, where you just, again, just taking a peek through a window you're not supposed to be looking through. You know what I mean? And
Right.
but I love that at the same time. I like a lot of movies that do it that way, and this is
Hmm.
definitely in that. It's up there in the ranks, of those types of movies. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, she is incredible. Frances McDormand is great. The woman who directed this, now she's doing Eternals. She is doing Eternals. Do
Yes.
you know her name off the top of your head?
Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao. Okay, I couldn't think of it. That's right. Yeah, she is doing Eternals, and I'm actually really excited now about that, because
Nice.
that's another cool thing, is that the film got me excited about seeing what she does next. Because,
Hmm.
and even if it is Eternals or something in the MCU property, I feel like she's going to add a new voice to the MCU that's like incredibly unique to the genre. I don't think it's gonna be your average MCU film.
Hmm.
Assuming she directs it and stays true to her style, I think that it's going to actually be something kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked. I want to feel the emotions of that, movie. I think that this movie definitely gives you that in a lot of ways, and I hope that Eternals is, I hope that is carried over into Eternals, and
Hmm.
I think that that'd be really cool. So, yeah, Nomadland, guys, on Hulu. If you guys out there haven't seen it, check it out. If you have, let me know what you thought, because I loved that movie. I thought it was like awesome. I loved it. It's really great, really
Nice.
great. Check it out, Sammy, whenever you can.
Love that. I will. I'll finish it. I'm committed to seeing every single Best Picture nominee by the time the Oscars happen.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah,
Committed to it.
I think I got two left. I think I only have two
Hmm.
left to see, so I'm happy
Nice.
about that.
There's only two that I don't know how I'm gonna acquire yet. The rest of them I could watch like tonight if I wanted to.
Mm.
There's only The Father and Minari are still like theater at home
Oh,
releases.
right, right.
So yeah.
Well, that's
And
true.
Promising Young Woman as well just came out on DVD.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
have to
rented
see if
that.
my local theater is playing those two.
Yeah.
That's for
I
sure.
really want to see Minari.
Yeah,
I'm like I was dying to see Promising Young
yeah,
Woman and now it's Minari has
yeah.
taken that spot.
Yeah, go figure. Those are the two I have left. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because I just
The
haven't been to
Father
the
seems to
theater.
be like nobody I feel like in the world has seen The Father.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be great.
Everyone's like, what?
Yeah,
I
must be
know,
great
but
though.
I'm right.
I
Exactly.
hear he's great in the movie.
It's Olivia Colman and Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I hear they're both good. So
Yeah.
I definitely want to see it. I mean, it sounds incredibly intriguing. Did you
Hmm.
see the one that Anthony Hopkins did? I think it was either last year or the year before, The Two Popes. Did you watch that?
I did not watch it. I heard it was really good though.
It was alright.
Is I
It was alright. I didn't
I heard
love
it's
it like
just
a lot
like
of people did. Yeah.
I heard it was just like, two popes talking about religion for
Yeah,
2 hours.
it is, and it just didn't work for me the way that I think it was supposed to.
Right.
And like it was all right to me. I mean, I didn't hate the movie. I respected everything it was doing, and it felt. It's funny because I was talking about how much Nomadland felt incredibly realistic, and the two
Hmm.
popes did as well. In that same vein, but for some reason it just didn't work for me, and I think it was
Mm.
just the lack of characters surrounding the two
Right.
popes. You know what I mean? Because really, like, there are other characters. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's really mostly them, and it just felt like it was lacking in that regard, as opposed to like Nomadland.
Sure.
You meet so many people along the
Right.
way, and they're all like fascinating and interesting, and the performances were great in Two Popes, but I just found the
Hmm.
movie to be a little lackluster, to be honest with you. So I was curious if you'd seen that before or not, but
I have that.
yeah, maybe check it out. I don't know.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
be for you. Could be for you. I
Maybe.
almost want to
Yeah.
give it another
Heard it was
shot,
good.
because I think a lot of it comes down to the mood you're in, because
Right.
it was award season, so I'm watching everything. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's like usually at least around this time I am, and so
Yeah.
it just feels like to throw in one more that was like a slow burn. It's one of those things. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta, like, sometimes they just really gotta hook you or do that certain thing
Hmm.
for you. But I won't deny the performances were good, and like it definitely had a rawness to it. But yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, obviously, so maybe
I
I'll
will
check it out
finish
again.
it. So
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, so I did. Yeah, this is the other thing I watched. We gotta talk about it because
Hmm.
you've seen it too. Is Promising Young Woman. A- em, 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 Emerald.
Emerald Fennell.
Emerald Fennell, another first timer in terms of directing.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's really interesting. By the way, is the fact that all the Oscars are giving first timers movies
Hmm.
Best Picture nominations this year,
Yes.
which is pretty cool. I think we have two, so that's awesome. Emerald
Yeah.
Fennell and I think Chloe Zhao is a first timer if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. So,
I
uh,
believe you're correct.
really cool stuff. So, Promising Young Woman though.
Yeah.
I'll do a
Yes.
non-spoiler talk real quick on it. Love the movie. Thought it was fantastic from beginning to end. I think it's like really hype, like super exciting, and not like hype in
Hmm.
terms of like the hype surrounding it. Like it's just has this feeling of hype within it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's hyperactive, I guess, in a way. Like
Right.
it moves really quick, in my opinion.
Hmm.
You're hooked almost from the get go. I think that like Emerald Fennell is somebody to look out for because she is like she has a specific style to her, and she definitely knows how to direct a damn movie. I mean, that's for sure. And I
Oh
I
my
I
God. Yes.
love that about it. I mean, it has a really great soundtrack. Um, my biggest gripe with it, I can't talk about because it goes into spoiler
Okay.
territory. But
Mm.
and this isn't my gripe, but I gotta say, it just
Okay.
reminded me, if you're a man out there, we're fucked after women see this movie because there is
Yeah.
not a man in here. Well, I won't say not a man, but there's really like it almost feels like there's very little men that she meets that aren't actual douchebags in this movie, and I feel like every
Right.
time you see a
There's like
male in this
two.
movie,
There's like, I mean, not to spoil, but there's another guy and then
yeah,
like her dad, and that's about it.
right.
Every other man is
I guess
trash.
I'll tell you my gripe. I
Okay.
guess, in my opinion, and don't get me wrong, because this movie picks on ladies too. It's not just men. Like
Yeah.
it's equal opportunity because there are women in here who are total pieces of shit in this movie for sure.
Well, right, right.
But I gotta say that was one of my gripes. Is like I think I could have used maybe without spoiling it one more man that wasn't an actual tool in this movie. But you
Oh,
know what
so
I
you
mean.
think there's a that you think there's a certain person that was a tool that you wish wasn't a tool?
True.
You wanted them not to be a tool.
No, I liked that they were,
Okay, yes.
but I could have used one more that wasn't. Because I know
Okay,
exactly who
you'll have
you're
to tell me
referring to.
later.
I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're referring to here, but
Okay,
uh
you'll have to tell me later
I
then.
just wish
'Cause yeah.
no. Not like I just wanted an extra character written into the script is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
That
okay.
wasn't. Not
Gotcha.
like somebody like that's already in there that I wish wasn't. I'm okay
Gotcha.
with the amount of men that were. And again, I'm
Yes.
not saying that it was completely, female
Uh-huh.
centric because there were females in here that it also picked on. Like it made
Yes.
them trash. And I'm okay with that. It was very equal, but like my one gripe in the movie is I wish there was one more male character written in to it that wasn't an
Right.
actual tool. I just
I was
felt like
ready
it
to
would have
fight. I was
balanced
like,
it.
yeah. I'd be like, that's life, baby. Like, that's how life is. Sometimes you really don't want someone to be a tool, and they're a tool, and there's nothing you could do
No,
about
no,
it.
no, 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 no. I
That's
get that.
life.
That I'm okay with. That I'm okay with.
Yeah.
By the way, that thing that we're referring to, because I know who you're talking about. There's a
Yes.
person in here that,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
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 I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're talking about too. Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
I was okay with. By the way, I was okay with that.
That floored
That
me.
floored me too. That whole thing
Yeah.
that goes on. But let's not talk much more about it
Okay.
on that level. We'll keep talking about the
Anyway.
movie, but I just
Yes.
don't. I feel like we're gonna say something that's gonna give it
I
all
know, I
away.
know.
But
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here's the thing.
Anyway, moving
Like,
on.
let's talk about performances. I mean, they're all pretty good. Carrie Mulligan, I mean, carries most of the movie on her shoulders. She is fantastic in the
Yeah.
film. It's probably her career best performance. I gotta be real. She is really
Yeah.
great in Drive. I love her in Drive. I know some people are gonna come at me. Yes, Drive phenomenal, but this is a
Uh-huh.
movie that she had to carry. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like Ryan Gosling is like the highlight of Drive. This is something she had to carry, and she is great
Hmm.
at it. And I think it is her career best performance so
Hmm.
far. I think that she did just a wonderful, wonderful
Yeah.
job in it, and she Yeah, I mean, it surprised me. This movie is very subversive. You know what I mean? So she
Hmm.
definitely surprised me at every turn, and there
Right.
were a lot
And
of
I,
story beats
yeah.
that surprised me at every turn.
Uh,
But
and I watched an interview with Carey Mulligan and Emerald Fennell, and they were talking about Emerald Fennell was talking about how she really wanted somebody who the audience wouldn't automatically assume this character would look like.
yeah,
You know, she wanted someone that like it was a bit of like a throw off. You're like, oh, Carey Mulligan is gonna play
yeah,
a character like this, like nice British girl who
yeah,
plays, like I mean grittier roles, but not, something like
yeah,
this. And so like all of that was done on purpose, and
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bo Burnham is great in the movie too. He really came in and just destroyed his role. I think he was great.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't want to say too much about Bo Burnham's character,
he's something. He's
except
something.
that it was absolute perfection.
Yeah, for
I have
sure,
to go into spoilers to say more,
for sure.
but
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
played that character absolutely
He sure
perfectly.
did. He sure did.
Perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be many moments in the movie for everybody out there that again you're gonna have your hand
Yeah.
over your mouth. I did spend a lot of the movie like this, like for sure,
Yeah.
and so that it's one of those, so everybody knows, and that's what makes it so great. That's part of what makes it so great.
Yes.
Also, the fact that the messages and the themes are very clear, and it definitely dives into current day problems that I wish were not problems, and especially after watching the film I'm like, why is this still a problem? You know what I mean?
Right.
That was my thing watching it, because like it's like, because there are a lot of douchebag guys in the film, obviously, and the thing is like, all you fuckers are, you give men a bad name. You know what I mean? And it's like it's crazy. It's like you got to be really careful. These days you really do. That's the other thing
Right.
that I feel
I
like this
know.
movie definitely it came across as like, you got to be careful out there. You know what I mean? Just don't piss off the wrong person. Don't piss off the wrong broad.
You just have to, yeah, you
Yeah,
just have to be, don't, like, just don't be a douchebag. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like the whole thing is like, just
yeah,
stop being gross.
yeah,
Like, again, I've watched a lot of interviews. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this movie. Like, I could write an essay about this
yeah,
movie. I'm reading the script right now. I've read through most of it.
yeah.
Like, I'm obsessed with this
It's
movie.
great.
But I was watching an interview again, and um, oh man, I just lost my train of thought. What were you just saying? Oh shit.
Well, I was gonna say,
That
see, to me, I hope, I just know how gullible certain women can be. So like, I hope that they don't
right.
watch this and think that every man that wants to give them a kiss or hold their hand or something is like an asshole after watching this. But
Right.
you could very easily get sucked into that mindset. And so like, for me, I want to be
Yeah. I
like,
don't know if it's gonna do that
I
though.
hope not. I just want to
I
be
don't
like,
think it
to women
will.
out there, hey, we're not all like that, but just so everybody
Yeah.
knows, because I do want everybody to go in this with the right mindset, but also there's so many guys that are, and they like the
Yeah.
way that the hoops that they jump through to get to their end game is like,
Right.
dude, like, yeah, because it's like, who do you trust? Who do you trust?
Right.
That's kind
Well,
of what it
and
is.
right. And I remember what I was gonna say, that the original vision for the movie, like the first thing that popped into her head was the scene at the very beginning of
Yeah.
the film where, and it ends where she looks down at him and she goes, "What are you doing?" And she was like, the
Hmm.
whole movie I feel like can be summed up in "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's true. I mean, this is in the trailers and stuff. This isn't really a spoiler, but I'm like, the truth is, like, guys, if a girl is unresponsive, she can barely talk
Yeah.
properly. She can barely sit up. She's not talking. She's just like,
Hmm.
or like, no, I gotta go, blah,
Yeah.
blah. That's not
Right.
consent, my guys.
Right.
Like, stop being gross. Be
Right.
smart. Think about it.
Yeah.
Women are people too. Because, like, what are you doing?
And I'm glad
That's the thing. Like, just be thinking. That's the thing. Like, for men, I'd say the takeaway is just
exactly.
like, if you're doing stuff like this, just take a moment, have Carrie Mulligan in your brain, and have her just be like, "What are you doing?"
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
and then move on from there.
And I'm glad it kind of has
Yeah.
that line in there. I'm glad it has that element,
Hmm.
because it's like, that is the line. That's like one of the big lines in
That's
there,
the movie.
because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, the what are you doing exactly? It's like the
Hmm.
theme of the film in a lot of ways, and it's just it does,
Yeah.
it carries it forward, and like also the fact that it's like, Yeah, it definitely shows you like what is consent and what isn't too. You know what I mean? And it's
Yes.
like it was responsible about the way it showed it, I feel like. I just
Yes.
also feel like there's a lot of women that are gonna watch this. And again, I don't think that's the intention of the film, but I just feel this way that a lot of women are gonna watch this and go, we can't trust anybody. But
Well,
like
right.
on the same hand, you kind of have the, and I don't think this is a spoiler to say so, that you have the Carrie Mulligan character kind of out seeking that type of person too. So
Right.
there's that element of it. It's just, it's a real, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it really, this whole movie operates in a very gray area, to where it's like, and I feel that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm
Sure.
not saying any of this is a gripe or a flaw. All I'm saying is I just feel the whole film is operating in a very gray area, or maybe areas that, or gray, by gray I mean like areas that like a lot of men out there are probably going to think are like gray areas, but this shit needs to stop. And this movie is something that everybody needs to see, because the things that are going on, you know, uh, really aren't like gray, but they are, because it's like, the reason I say that is because the Carrie Mulligan character is doing things, but she's doing things in a dirty way. She's playing dirty to get what she wants. But,
Right.
you
But
know,
she's not actually doing anything. You know what
exactly,
I mean? She's
exactly.
just going, what are you doing?
Exactly. It's true.
You know?
It's very true.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I mean there's an element of dishonesty to what she does, but other than that, like
Right.
there's not like, yeah, that's what I
Well,
mean. It
yeah.
operates in a gray area to where like it's going to open up like a bigger conversation for a lot of people. And like I think that that's kind of what I'm getting to, but on the same hand, the movies like this need to be there, because
Oh
they
my
need to
gosh,
like
yes.
make you think,
I've
and
been I've
make
been
you
telling everybody in my life that you have to watch this movie.
right.
That I'm like, you have to. It's so
They
important.
need to be there to make you realize that this is a current problem right now.
Yes.
And like if if you in your own life, I guess this is kind of what it made me think about, because I thought of so many past women in my life that were like they either like were hesitant about going out or something like that. It's like, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what kind
Yeah.
of trauma has come into their life and stuff like that. So you got to be patient when women, and like really respect them, and respect what expect what's gone on in their past. And like this movie just really
Right.
makes you think about that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I mean. It's like it makes you, it operates in that gray area, because it's an area of, by gray I mean it's an area that you don't think about a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
In your mind, but we should. We got to think sensitively about like what is a current problem right now with a lot of men, and like what have women gone through with a lot of different men, and like
Hmm.
it's like, why is this an issue though? It sucks, it's an issue, but it sucks, and it's just
Yeah.
it's just I was blown away by how current this movie is, and how
Hmm.
much it can teach a lot of people, and like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I just thought it was amazing. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm joking, obviously, when I say we're all fucked. I mean, I know that I'm not a sleazy dude, but like, I'm saying that like a lot of men out there,
Right.
you might be, you might need to check yourself. That's all I'm trying to say here,
That's
because
all I'm saying.
you might need to check
Just
yourself.
what are
You know
you
what I mean?
doing, my
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean it's just so relevant, but it was treated with such responsibility. I felt like that
Yes.
it needs to be seen, and it's something that is, the message is clear, and it's good that it's
Yeah.
clear, because I do know guys like this, unfortunately, or have met
Hmm.
guys like this, and that's, yeah, that's not good. That's not cool. And like
Yeah.
it just, it goes to show you like how uncool it is, And then on the other
Hmm.
side, on the male side of things, be fucking careful, you know what I mean, out there too. And on the women's side of things, be fucking careful, you know what I mean? Because there's a certain outcome to this film that, it's
Hmm.
like, yeah, everybody's just got to be careful, be responsible. That's the message of the movie. Be fucking responsible. If you're not responsible,
Just be
bad shit will
smart.
happen.
Stop
Yeah.
being gross. Be an adult. Be a human adult.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you do have bad actions, you need to own them, you know, and
Count for
not,
them. Yes.
yeah, accountability. I think that's even said somewhere in
Yeah,
the
that's
film,
a big thing.
accountability. I think that's even said
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, and you got to be
And
held
about like,
accountable.
and this has been said in the this is a scene in the trailers too, but the one where she goes to her old college dean, and she's talking about her college dean's like, well, what would you have me do? Ruin a young man's life every time an accusation like this happens?
Hmm.
And like watching that every single time I've seen that scene, I'm like, so instead you'll let a young woman silently suffer
Right,
by herself while you shame her?
right,
That's better than ruining a rapist's life.
yeah. No, 100%. And there's
You
something
know what I
that's
mean?
said that's like even along the lines of that, if I remember correctly. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, again, it's just, it's so current, it's so relevant, it's something that needs to be seen. And I hope
Mhm.
that more people do see it and that
And
it,
then, right. And the other thing about the film is that it really plays with the idea of like narrative in like personal narrative, like how are we viewing these situations? Like I'll say like in the first scene, and also this is also talked about in an interview. It's not my original like observation. Is things that I've like
yeah,
picked up on. But Emerald Fennell was talking about how in the first scene, the guy who first, her name's Cassie, Carrie Mulligan's character, the guy who first picks up Cassie from the bar, who's thinking that she's like sloppy drunk and tries to take her
right.
home, that in his mind, he's the hero and this is the beginning of a rom com. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? That to
Mm-hmm.
him, he's like saving this girl. Some other douchebag might come and
Yeah,
pick her up. I'm going to take care of her. I'll
yeah,
be okay. Yes, I'm gonna try to have sex with her, but like I'm a nice guy, so it's fine, and there's not anybody else.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's even a scene where like he kisses her and she is completely unresponsive, and he's like, "Oh wow, that was incredible." And I was like, she didn't do
Right, right.
anything.
And I love the
Because
way that
again,
they
because
shot that
for
too.
right,
That was great. But
because
yeah, go ahead.
oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Because theoretically, for her, her narrative is not I'm the love interest in a rom-com. For her, it's I'm blacked out drunk and I'm
Yes,
sick
yes.
and I need to get home.
Yeah.
Or, you know, in the reality of the movie, I'm here
Mm-hmm.
to teach someone a lesson. You know what I mean? I'm not here to
Yeah,
have a rom-com, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it plays with that idea of, you know, what I mean, and this gets blown up again. It's spoilers, but for the ending and a situation that happens in the movie, or is talked about a lot in the movie, that it's the same thing. That for one person it was this thing, for the other person it was this other thing.
Yeah.
And it's again like which narrative do we believe? Whose narrative is more valid? Whose narrative is the one that we go with?
Exactly.
Who do we
Yeah.
believe?
Exactly. That's another thing, and I know people in my family that have been caught in situations that
Mm-hmm.
obviously I won't go into details about it here. It's their story to tell, but they've just been caught in situations where it's like people did not believe them, and it's
Right.
like, but I believed them, their family, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like, but this movie definitely toys with that as well, and about how like so many victims of things like this they've just been shut down, you know what I mean, because just people didn't they chose not to believe them. And I
It's
think
because
that,
it's right.
yeah.
I mean, I've also been watching Al. I watched Alan v. Farrow, the HBO documentary,
Hmm.
on HBO Max, and that documentary they really make the case for how um how like we just let people get away with it. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? How we just we want to not believe it. We want to believe that it's a lie so badly that we convince ourselves to not believe the victims because it's just so horrible. Like, how could a guy ever do that to a girl?
Hmm.
How could a father ever do that to a daughter? How could, you
Right.
know? And we just can't believe it. So then
Hmm.
we try to find validation in our disbeliefs. Then we try to discredit the victim because we're trying to
Right.
validate our own opinion,
Exactly.
even though then we ignore the facts because we're just trying to validate our own opinions.
Exactly. And if just to dive into other points on the movie too, some of the
I
things
could
that,
talk about this movie for
oh, of
days.
course, there's so much to dive into, but
There's so much.
I'm trying to like steer it away so I don't accidentally spoil it. But like I'll be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing: movie's beautiful. It's stunning to look at. It's
Yes.
the messages come across very clear. The multiple themes in the film, which I like that it is very
Acted,
layered with
directed,
themes acted
written
well. It's got its
wonderfully.
own style
Yes.
of acting and directing. It's just
Great soundtrack. The sound design I thought was great.
100%. Emerald
Shot beautifully.
Fennell
Yeah.
just did phenomenal stuff with this film, and
Hmm.
I can't wait to see what she does next. I really,
Oh my
this is somebody to
gosh.
be excited about, and again, kind of like Chloe Zhao, I think that
Yeah.
this is somebody to be stoked about. I did hear that
Uh-huh.
she's gonna get a comic book film now, Emerald
I
Fennell, so that's pretty
heard.
interesting. I don't know what,
I know,
but
me neither.
yeah, so
But I did see that.
we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Hmm.
So the other thing I'll say is like, I do find again, like I loved it. I love this aspect of the movie, but I love movies like that are, you know, that have a very subversive nature to them. But I do feel
Hmm.
like that is going to bother some people because it kind of goes one way and then
Well,
goes another way. Some
well,
people are
right,
definitely going to be bothered
right.
by
I
it for
would just
sure.
argue. I could see how people would have that problem.
Oh,
I
I
would
don't think
just
they
say
should have
like,
that problem. I'm just
yeah.
saying that it's real
Because
life. You know
to
what I
me,
mean?
everything that happened, right? Because say for me, even though there are twists and turns and stuff, to me, nothing that happens in the movie is
Oh,
unrealistic
I
to the
agree.
real
I
world.
agree.
Like everything that happened, I'm like, no, that checks out 100%. Like while that was a twist, I'm like, no, but that's actually how that would have gone down.
I
It probably
agree.
actually would have been worse in real life. You know what I mean?
Oh, I 100%
Like if
agree with
anything,
you.
it's a toned down version of what would have happened in real life.
Yeah, again, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that people shouldn't necessarily have a problem with it, but I just know
Hmm.
people and I know that they are.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
yeah. If we're lagging
The
right now,
ending,
guys, I'm
ending
sorry.
though
It'll
is
come back. But the
yeah.
thing is yeah, yeah, it's the ending is like I think gonna disappoint some people. Didn't me. I
Mm.
loved it. I loved the
I
way it
think
went.
the button on the ending, I think might make up for it though.
Hopefully.
Because I was also a little bit like I didn't know how to feel about it the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But then the button
Hmm.
made me be like, oh, okay.
Hopefully, because I
Yeah.
think it did it for me. I could
Hmm.
actually the reason I say this is because I actually talked to somebody who did not like this movie, and it
Mm.
was because of the subversive nature of it. So that's why I'm saying
Interesting.
to people out
Because of
there,
what happens at the end, the big thing,
and some other
one
things
of the big
about it,
things.
yeah, and
Got it. Got it.
some other twists and aspects and things like that.
Hmm.
But
Right.
I just like that the film's unpredictable, and that was part of
Oh
what
my
kept me
gosh.
into
Yes.
it. So yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. I
So
want to
did
see
I.
it again. And yeah, it's one of the best of 2020 for sure. It's one of the
Oh my
best.
gosh.
Um,
Absolutely.
don't have an official ranking for 2020 yet, but it's gonna make
It's
like
up
the top
there.
five for sure, at least. So we'll see
For
where that
sure.
goes.
Same.
But yeah, guys, if you've seen Promising Young Woman, let us know what you thought of it.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
if you
And you should if
haven't,
you haven't.
watch it and then come back and
Yeah.
comment and let us know what you thought. Yeah, definitely just check it out, at least just to see if you like it or not. And I would imagine most people are going to find this movie to be fucking insane and in the
Yeah.
best way. So
I agree.
I think that I think it's worth watching. So definitely check that one out. Yeah, all right. So what do we have for the news? Let's get to that.
All right, perfect. Well, we're starting off today with the Academy Award nominations that were released last week.
Right. Need to
So
get
do
to
you want to
that.
go by category? Want me to just give you some of the big ones?
Well, let's do well, yeah, here's the ones that here's what I'm
Okay.
interested in most of all. First of all, let's talk about because they consolidated the sound category this year, right? Which, by the way,
Yeah, it's just sound
I'm a little upset about. I think that sound mixing and sound editing is
editing.
a very different job, and I think that that's upsetting. And I almost feel like it's not even fair for each to vote for the other. You know, for one to vote for the other
Mm.
in terms of their brackets and things. Yeah, so like I don't know. It just to me that was an off decision. But yeah, let's hear what we got in sound for this year.
All right. So this year's sound nominees are Greyhound, Mank, News of the World, Soul, and Sound of Metal.
News of
I'm
the
going Sound
World
of Metal,
and Sound of Metal.
probably, right?
Yes, Sound of Metal is the one I'm rooting for sure because
Yeah.
the things that the way that they were able to, if you guys go back and listen to my review, the way that they were able to put you in the shoes of a deaf person. I know that sounds kind of weird because it's like,
Hmm.
but there is something to the silence of it that makes it so cool. And then like there's something that happens to him at the end that really makes the sound very unique in the film.
Mm.
So I think that we need to really look at that, and like, I don't want to spoil the movie for those who haven't seen it yet, but there is something that happens toward the end that, you know, really required like really wonderful sound editing to make that work. And yeah, that's about all I'll say about that. And mixing and both. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I think it definitely fits in terms of the winner for the sound category. Yeah, none of those. Again, I haven't seen Greyhound, but I also actually heard the sound, and that was very good. So I never actually got to check that one out yet. So you know, that's a possible one that, you know, can get up there. And I do plan to check out News of the World, by the way. The other Tom
Yeah.
Hanks flick, so that's in there. So I definitely want to check that out. And I'm assuming it's like this really cool kind of western, so with some action in there. So I'm assuming it is going to have some pretty good sound, but who knows? We'll see. But Sound of Metal's my
No.
pick. That's my pick.
Yeah, no, I'd probably say same.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Oh yeah. Let me direct you on where to go next. What do we got in like the visual categories?
Visual effects.
Mhm.
All right, visual effects. We got Love and Monsters, The Midnight
Mm,
Sky, Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and Tenet.
gosh,
I don't like any of those.
I love them all.
The only
Most of
ones
them.
I've seen are Mulan and Tenet, and I didn't like either.
Okay. I love Tenet. I would have maybe given Tenet the edge if it was in the sound category. I
Right.
actually have a feeling it might be
The
Love and
sound was good in
Monsters.
Tenet, I will say.
I have a feeling it might be Love and Monsters.
That would be cool. It's an odd pick to just throw in there if it's not going to win.
I
You know what I
think,
mean?
listen, Love and Monsters was a surprise movie for me. Like, it was
Hmm.
surprisingly great.
Yeah.
I could see a whole
Great
franchise coming out
visual
of that.
effects.
Yeah, it did, and it had very unique visual effects, and I think that that's
Right.
gonna really help it out. I'm not gonna say that that's like a definite. I mean, because you got some other ones in there too. I mean, Mulan did have great visuals. It did. There's no doubt about it. The
Sure.
visuals were great. I liked Mulan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did. Didn't love it, but I mean, I liked it. I recognize that there's a lot of great in there, and part of it was the visuals that I did enjoy so
Sure.
much, and I thought that that was really, really great. You can't deny the visuals are good in the movie. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like,
Sure.
it's a well filmed
I
flick. You can
guess.
hate the movie all you want, but the filmed well. It's filmed well,
I
and
can't think of one thing though that I was like, "Whoa, this looks incredible."
yeah,
I'm just not remembering it
yeah,
well. But
I
I was like, the whole time I was like, "What is this?"
yeah, I don't know. I think Tenet still is, again, it's a Nolan film. It's visually stunning. I mean, it's
Right.
possible. It's very visually stunning, obviously, and it's possible that that can win too. I mean, you
Hmm.
got a movie where things have to go backwards and forwards at the same time. You know, that's not easy to
Right.
pull off, and the movie does that very well. So I think that
Yes.
that is something that we got to look at in terms of, you know, what Nolan was able to achieve there. So it's possible. It's possible. Um, yeah, I think that's possible that that could be it.
Yeah,
That could be it. I mean, we'll
I
see.
agree. I'll say Love and Monsters right now. That'll be my pick.
Yeah, I've got to root for Love and
Just because
Monsters to
why
be the
not?
underdog winner though, because it's something
Yeah.
that wasn't like marketed incredibly well. You know, it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
here you go, and then like when people saw it, or at least when I saw it, I was like, this is really, really great, and I heard some other people really dug
Hmm.
it too. So yeah, it's a really fun flick. Yeah, highly recommend it.
Nice.
But yeah, what's next?
Well, where do you want to go next?
Oh yeah, true. Well, I was going to. Do we have like a best score? Do we what do we got for the score?
I believe we do. All right, so score. We have score and song. Score is The Five Bloods, Mank, Minari, News of the World, and Soul.
It's
I'm
hard
gonna
because I
pick
haven't seen them
Soul.
all. I haven't seen them all.
I haven't seen all of them. The only one I've seen is Soul, but I love that score.
Yeah, Mank is in there.
Yes,
It could be Mank.
it's the Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross of it all because they're nominated against each other.
Mm. hmm Um.
But it could go to Mank. That's true.
Yeah. Was Tenet not in there?
Not in there.
Really?
Mhm.
How do you not nominate Ludwig for that score? That was one of the best albums of
It
the
was a
year.
better score. Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best score of the year. Movies, it's the best score of the
Yeah.
year. I mean, like the only thing that beats it is Mandalorian, and that's not a movie; it's a show, and it's also Ludwig composing
Ludwig.
it.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I think that Tenet is snubbed on this one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Wow.
I'm surprised it's not there at all.
Hot take.
Sorry, Ludwig, man, you can't beat him right now. You can't.
Right.
He's that good.
Well, apparently you can.
Yeah. Lordy, lordy. I don't understand this, but okay. I swore Tenet was in that, but I don't know. Soul, it's Pixar. Why not?
Yeah, I go Soul.
Yeah. All right, let's go into. Do we have a best original song?
We do. So we have Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah, Hear My Voice from The Trial of the Chicago Seven,
Mm-hmm.
Husavik, I didn't see this movie, from Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga.
That really made it in there.
Yep.
Well, the movie sucks, but
I
you know,
haven't seen it and I don't really want
it's not
to.
good.
Oh, I can't pronounce it either. IOC, Scene from The Life Ahead, and Speak Now from One Night in Miami.
Mm. So it's hard again because I haven't seen them all yet, but
Probably either the song from Judas and the Black Messiah or One Night in Miami.
I see. I was gonna go Trial of Chicago 7, but I've seen that one.
Uh,
I've also seen Judas, and I would say the
yeah.
what was it called again from Trial of Chicago? Hear Me something.
Hear My Voice.
Hear My Voice. I think that one is definitely a better track than Judas and the Black Messiah. I don't care
Right.
about the best original song of the Oscars, and the
Me
reason why is
neither.
because I get to see them all get performed live, and they're typically really,
Right.
really good. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking forward to most. Like even if
Hmm.
I don't catch all these films beforehand, I cannot wait to hear them all perform live because like. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it was. I heard a song one year at some Oscars that was from a certain movie, and I was like, and the song actually did inspire me to go watch the movie. I liked it that much. I
Wow.
just can't think of what it was, you know? And sometimes you get that
Hmm.
because the performances are always that good, you know? I feel like
Yeah.
they always
I
try
really
to,
love it when they do like a medley of all of the scores
yeah.
that are nominated. I always really like that.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Oh, which category?
Right,
Pick a
right. Well, let's
category.
go to what do we got? We got best. Do we do best original and best adapted, right, for screenplay this year? They stuck
Yes,
with
yes,
that. Okay,
yes.
let's
They
do the best
did.
original. I'm curious.
Awesome. So for original, we have Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago Seven. If Emerald Fennell gets snubbed by Aaron Mother effing Sorkin, I swear to God. I swear
Yeah,
to God.
she might because that film is amazing, but I mean,
Yeah.
I I,
Because
st-
that's my pick.
I still
That
put
script is
I
phenomenal.
still put Chicago 7 over Promising Young Woman, but I think that in terms if we're gonna look at what is a
This
best,
might get us on our Oscar pool. If we make an Oscar pool, this might be a deciding factor. Like
mm-hmm.
if you put down Aaron Sorkin winning and I put down Emerald Fennell winning, because I feel like it might be one of the two.
I'm
That's my think. Because we were talking as we were talking in our yesterday a little bit that they with a screenplay, it's usually never the same as like
no,
best director or
no,
best picture. It's
no.
usually a different movie. So and
Yeah,
I'm not sure if Promising a Woman can win Best Picture, Best
I don't think
Director,
it will.
even maybe Best Actress, but Screenplay is where I think it could win. And I think that might be like the one award that it wins.
I think, yeah, I think that this one will go to Promising Young Woman for sure. Because when you
Yeah,
look at it from best original screenplay, like when you
right.
think of that
Oh my
term,
gosh.
original, that movie
Well, do
screams
they
original.
really? They're not even
Everything.
taking that seriously.
Yeah,
They might.
I
I
hope
don't
so.
know.
I mean,
Yeah, they
then
hope
again, I
so.
thought
Yeah.
Knives Out got snubbed from this award because,
That's
like, to me,
right.
it's like, how did you not
Jojo
give that to?
Rabbit, though. Jojo Rabbit was
It's a
phenomenal.
great movie. I'm not gonna lie, but like
Oh wait, never mind. That was an adopted screenplay. Never mind. I don't know what one then.
Yeah, you're
I just
right.
forgot
Jojo
what
Rabbit
it.
is adapted. I can't remember what
Yeah.
one either, but I just
Really?
remember being so
Right.
pissed because I was like, Knives Out. Look at how do you get
Parasite.
much more?
Parasite one. Sorry, I just remembered. That's right.
Right, that's right.
Parasite, because
Yeah,
Parasite swept
love
that year.
Parasite,
That's right.
but look at Knives
Also,
Out
yes,
and all the moving
absolutely.
pieces that like Ryan
Right.
put in that.
Right.
It's like to me, like don't get me wrong, Bon Joon's Parasite is probably a better film than Knives Out. I'm not saying it's not.
And
I'm
an
just
incredible
saying
script.
yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, I feel like when you look at Knives Out in terms of its originality, which
Yes.
Parasite too, but Parasite, I feel like, I don't know, that's a tough conversation to have
But I know what
because
you mean. Yeah.
I just remember being upset. I'd seen both movies and I thought Knives Out, if it was going to get anything, it should have been that. And I think a lot
Hmm.
of it was because Parasite was winning like everything up until that point too.
Right.
So I just was
It
like,
just, oh, it won everything
it
that
did,
year.
it did, yeah.
Yeah.
So Bong Joon was getting tired walking up and down
I
there.
know. Oh my God, I loved it.
I
It's
love it. He was
throwback.
like,
He kept being like, I thought I was done, so I started getting drunk.
yeah, I get
So
very
here I
drunk
am.
tonight, he says. Something like
Yeah,
that.
he's like, I finally get drunk tonight.
Oh,
Like
man.
I've been trying to get to the bar for the last hour, but I keep winning freaking Oscars.
Pretty much.
And we're all like, oh, so sad.
Yeah,
Poor Bong. Yeah. Anyway.
exactly. Anyway, what do we got next?
So adapted
Yeah.
screenplay. We have, I'm not saying the whole thing. I can't believe that they're gonna make them say this whole thing every single time, but
Borat
we have
subsequent
Borat
movie film, is that
subsequent
what you're
movie
referring to?
film. Yep.
Which should not be
With
an adapted, by the way. That does not qualify in the adapted category.
what is it adapted from? Because it's a sequel?
It's
Like, get
adapted
out of
from
here.
Rudy Giuliani's Dumbass Mistakes. That's what it's adapted from. Yeah.
Literally. Like, get out of here. And there's like 2 lines worth of names, and I'm like, they're really gonna read the whole movie and all the names. They're really gonna do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Borat subsequent movie film, and then The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger.
I'm still saying,
Probably Nomadland.
yeah, I think Borat 2 got screwed here because unfortunately it's an adapted and people are going to look at
Yeah,
that and go, well, I can't vote for it in that category because it's not adapted from anything.
I know.
So I think they
And then, like,
got
adapted from Sacha Baron Cohen's brain. Like, what do you?
right. I think that they got screwed in this. They got
Yeah.
100% screwed being put in
Hmm.
that category. So yeah, they're going to give it to Nomadland or everybody's going to see that got screwed and they're going to check off Borat too.
Hmm.
Other than that,
It's
yeah.
it's the sleeper pick for sure. It's the wild card pick.
I will be happy if it wins because that means that everybody saw it got screwed. You know, they
Right.
were like, Jesus Christ, why would they do that? You know, how did that end
Right.
up there? You know, but
Hmm.
yeah, so I think it
Everyone's gonna
could
be
be.
like, adapted from what?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, we'll pick it. Yeah,
Literally.
because
Yeah.
like
You
they
know,
deserve
I
something
think it'll
tonight.
still be
And
Nomadland. That's
yeah,
true. That would be really cool. I agree. I think if they win anything, I mean, we'll get to it. I would love nothing more than for Maria Baklova to win Best Supporting
I
Actress
think she's
for
got it.
Borat,
I think she's got it.
but I don't know if she's got it. But I think
I
if
think
they,
she's
if
got
like
it.
their highest chance is probably
Yeah.
screenplay, even
I'll,
though I think Nomadland has it
I'll let
actually.
I'll let you know when we get there again if I think she's got it or
Mhm.
not. But last time I read, I was like, I think she's got this. But
I would
yeah,
love nothing
for
more.
sure.
Oh my God, in my dream. That's what I want. That's who I'd vote for in that category.
For sure. So who do we
Yeah.
got for best director this year?
Best director, I think is near the top. I got to scroll there. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Where is it? Right here. All
Yeah.
right.
I'll be right back. Talk about what you think of the category when you read it, and I'll be right back.
Cool directing.
Directing.
Awesome.
Yeah, just talk about who you think's gonna win, what you think of all the picks, and yeah, I'll be back.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So we have first up Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, David Fincher for Mank, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. So once again, the only one of these that I have seen all the way through is Promising Young Woman. However, as previously said, I am obsessed with this movie. I think it is one of the best directed films of the year. It's so wonderfully crafted, and I think Emerald Fennell deserves this award. I do think it's most likely though going to go to Chloe Zhao. I think the sleeper pick is probably Lee Isaac Chung, maybe just because Minari is getting a lot of hype, but I could also see this going to David Fincher. David Fincher and Chloe Zhao, I think, are probably the top two. I think David Fincher is just like the classic pick that I think a lot of people will go with. But I think Chloe Zhao is like the more modern, correct pick to go with. Which I mean, I'm not mad about. I mean, a woman, especially an Asian woman, getting an Academy Award, I'm never gonna be angry about that. I'm never gonna want something else, someone else to win. I'm always gonna be ecstatic about that. So um, yeah, this is a big category. I'm pulling for Emerald Fennell though. Don't think she's gonna win. My expectations are very low, but I'm pulling for her. That's who I would vote for.
Aaron Sorkin in the category.
No, he's not.
Wow.
I know.
Um,
Thomas Vinterberg swooped in there. I am gonna watch that movie another round.
hear
That
great
movie sounds
things.
so good.
I hear great things.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and pull for Emerald Fennell as well.
Mhm.
However, and Chloe Zhao's in this, right?
Yes,
Okay, so I think
and
it's
I
going to
think
be
she'll
Chloe
win.
Zhao. I think it's going to be
Me
Chloe
too.
Zhao, 100%. And it would not be undeserved. I mean, because she did
Right,
like go out there and
exactly.
achieve some incredible things for sure with
Right.
that film, and her directing and her style was, again, she brought such a rawness to it
Hmm.
that I think that could be the winner,
Absolutely.
for
And
sure.
that kind of directing, I think, is going to be really respected by the Academy.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Uh, yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
What's in the? All right, so let's go to Best Supporting Actress.
Awesome. Right here. Awesome. So first up, we have Maria Baklova for Borat's subsequent movie film, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman, The Father, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Yoon Jung Yo for Minari. I definitely butchered that, and I apologize.
Um,
I think Amanda Seyfried probably is going to win. I just feel it in my bones, but I want it to be Maria Bak- Baklova more than anything on this planet. I would scream. I would be elated.
um, yeah. I want Maria Baklova.
Yeah,
I think that she might have it. I think she's
she
got it.
could.
Because they fucking hate Rudy over there.
I know.
There's that.
And they
She's got that
everyone
going
and
for
they're
her.
right. And the Academy again is the type of people who's going to respect the fact that this is a young actress who got this man in a room alone with her. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that speaks volumes to them.
Yeah,
That's the crowd
she
gonna
might
applaud
have
you for
it,
that.
and you know what? She carried a role that was like something that could have been so bad, but she carried it
Yes.
so well, and it
She
turned
holds
out
a
so
candle to
good.
Borat. She holds
Yeah,
a candle to Sacha Baron Cohen. Not many have done that.
yeah.
And
That
those who have are credited as like geniuses, you know what I mean?
that storyline couldn't have turned out so stupid. You know, it really could have. She
Exactly.
they got a good actress in there, and she sold
Hmm.
it, and so I think it speaks volumes. This might surprise a lot of people, but I think it's going to be Glenn Close.
Finally getting her Oscar.
I think so.
It's finally gonna happen.
I think
That would be
so. After
cool.
putting more thought into it and actually hearing a lot of the things that people do say about Glenn Close in that movie, even though the movie sucks,
They might just give it to her. It's her time.
it's possible. It's possible. So,
Mm.
um,
Maybe Olivia Colman will steal it from her again.
maybe that would suck for Glenn, but
Yeah.
again, I haven't seen The Father, so it's a little difficult. And the
I know,
same with
me neither.
Minari, but
Same.
yeah, what do we got for Best Supporting Actor?
Best supporting actor. We have got Speak of the Devil, Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the
Yeah,
Chicago Seven, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Raci for The Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah.
yeah, I
I
would
was,
not be
yeah,
surprised if Sasha won, and we see the year where him and his co-star won from Borat, but for two
that would
different
be really
movies.
cool.
I think it'd be interesting because Sasha in Chicago 7, he actually, you know what? Ah, man, it's so tough because like I feel like Sasha and Kaluuya are like so tied You know what I mean, for this. Like, they are so tied for this. I feel like the thing, again, and you kind of brought this point up once before, is that the thing that's going to screw Daniel Kaluuya is the fact that Lakeith got nominated here too.
Who's the lead of this movie, Academy?
Right.
Who the hell do you think is the lead of Judas and the Black Messiah,
Yeah.
if not Judas or the Black Messiah? I just want to know.
I love
Jesse Plemons' character, because you weren't watching the movie correctly.
Exactly.
I just want to know. I want to know. What's up with that?
Exactly.
I need answers.
Yeah.
Let's throw hands. Let's go.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think that it's might have screwed Kaluuya, and I think that
it's gonna split the vote. That's what I think.
Him and Sasha's performance are equal in terms of like my favorites of the year, and I think that they are the two best. So as far as supporting, and I would love to see Sasha take it. I think I'm just gonna vote for. It's interesting. I think I'm gonna vote Sasha myself, just a little bit more than Kaluuya. I think that what Sacha Baron Cohen did in Trial of Chicago 7 was unbelievable. It was remarkable, and he's an actor who's incredibly underrated. If he wins, he wins. I think that Sasha's been grinding for a long time. Like, we can't forget that. Like, he's been going at it for a long time now, and
for almost like 20 years.
Right, and he's such a character actor, and he can like fit himself into any environment. It seems like so far, and I think that they're gonna look at that and they're gonna say, yeah, he's very deserving. But then again. Kaluuya was another one where I watched the movie and I had to keep reminding myself it was Daniel Kaluuya, because it was. So I had that with both. So it's very hard. But again, the Lakeith Stanfield point, it's going to split the vote, I think. And I think that Sasha will take this one. I think he will. And I can't wait till he does. I'm going to be so excited for him. And I'll be excited for Daniel Kaluuya just as much if he won. So
yeah,
I think
my sentiments exactly. I haven't seen Trial of the Chicago 7, but I do think that this is. I know I'm going to for sure. It's nominated for Best Picture, so I'm definitely going to.
Yeah. So great.
But I also think it's totally going to split the vote, and I mean, I'm still going to say Daniel Kaluuya though. I can't take him off yet because he was just so remarkable in that movie that like he's still my vote.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Best Actor.
Best Actor. We have Riz Ahmed for The Sound of Metal.
Okay.
Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Anthony Hopkins, The Father. Gary Oldman, Mank. And Stephen Yeun for Minari.
See, it's so tough because I wanted John David Washington to be in here so badly for Malcolm and Marie, but on the same hand, there's three.
I thought you were going to say Tenet, and I was going to be like,
no, although he is great in Tenet as well. He's great in Tenet.
I was like, but an Oscar? I was like,
oh my gosh, I want to see John David Washington play more Bond-like roles, but then again, he's such a diverse actor that I want to see him do anything after, especially after the shit he's been doing. But like between Tenet, Malcolm and Marie, and Black Klansman, I mean, he's just been killing it. But I think that I wanted to see him go in here for Malcolm and Marie, but there's three of these actors whose performances I haven't seen, and then the two that I have seen definitely deserve to be there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tough for me. Gary Oldman is incredible, and I'm not actually going to be entirely surprised if he wins. Do I think he's the deserving win? No. But I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised because he's fucking Gary Oldman, and what he did is amazing in the movie. There's no doubt about it.
He already got his Oscar.
Yeah.
He was incredible in Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour is like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he is transformative in this film as well. Like, we can't forget that. Right. He definitely transformed himself, but like, it's kind of one of those things for me where it's like, I'm so used to seeing that from Gary Oldman. I want to see Riz Ahmed win this. Because Riz Ahmed is very underratedly talented, and that's partially my fault too, as a person who's seen his performances over the course of his career. Because I mean, I really loved him in The Sisters Brothers. He's so great in that movie. But Rogue One, I thought he was lacking in that. I thought he was lacking in Venom and just so many other things that he's been in. I just have not enjoyed him. He was good in Nightcrawler. I'll give him that one. This movie, it's like this gave him the chance to really shine and go above what everybody else or what all his other performances were, like really show some range, and he did that. And I think that for me, it's probably my favorite male performance of the year. So I'm rooting for Riz Ahmed. I was saying that since I saw the damn movie.
Mhm.
So I was like, he better win this Oscar. He was so damn good. But that said, you got Chadwick Boseman in this category for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Have not seen the movie, but we know what happened to
It's a
Chadwick Boseman.
guarantee.
It's tragic, and I think that he's probably going to take it. But
I
especially
would put $100
after he
down
won the
right
Globe, he'll
now.
probably take it. But I
I'd put $100 down right now without a second doubt and with no hesitation
yeah,
that he wins.
I'm gonna have to see his movie before I can honestly say if Riz
I
Ahmed
know, I
is more
haven't seen it either.
deserving. Because like
Yeah.
to me, it's like I'm gonna be honest. Even if I see the movie and it's great and everything, if Riz Ahmed's more
Mhm.
deserving, I'm gonna be honest about it and say that he deserves it more.
Yeah.
It's just
There's not a shot in hell that that Chadwick Boseman
hmm,
doesn't win, I think.
I don't know. It's tough.
Who's I think most people are gonna be like, do I vote for Riz or do I vote for Gary? And they're like, I just can't. They're gonna
Yeah,
like try to check the box and they're just not gonna be able to, and then they're gonna get to Chadwick's box and be like,
and
okay, it feels
you
right,
know
and then
what?
check that one.
Even if I end up by the end of this like enjoying the Riz Ahmed performance more, I'm gonna understand it because people in this world,
It's more of his career overall, you know. That's what this
people,
Oscar really means, and that's what
right?
people understand that people in the Academy
Exactly.
are like, this is more of like an actual career award.
Exactly. And I think that I don't know. I mean, they I think that it's unfortunate because I do feel like I am going to watch it and it's not going to beat what Riz Ahmed did, but don't know
Mm-hmm.
that. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying like that's unfortunate. But on the same hand, I understand that people in this world they know him personally. I don't know Chadwick personally, so they watch Ma
Right.
Rainey's Black Bottom and that
Right.
performance hits them on a
And saw
different
their
level than
friend's
we can
last
understand.
performance. Right.
We cannot understand the level that it hits the Academy on
Right.
people who know him, people who loved him. He
Right.
was very loved amongst the community, and so it's going
Yes.
to be really
Yes.
tough. So it's really easy to understand why they're going to sway that way, But
Right.
so he'll probably get it,
But still, yeah. In your heart of hearts, though, you want
yeah.
it to be Riz.
And I'll tear up too when it happens. I will. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'll be
His
emotional
wife
about
is
it.
gonna accept it, and it's gonna be beautiful. And
Yeah, I will
oh,
tear up when it
yeah.
happens, and
Hmm.
it's going to be a great moment for television, in all honesty,
Hmm.
and it will.
It's still emotional to watch. Like, have you ever gone back and watched when Heath Ledger's
Yeah.
parents and sister
Oh
accept his
yeah.
Oscar
Oh
for
yeah. I've
him?
seen that quite a few times. Yeah.
Still
Very
gets
very hard
me.
to watch, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like, and I'm not saying nothing against Heath. I just feel like this one's going to be even more sad because this one was.
Hmm. So it's again, it's the suddenness of both deaths were very
Yeah,
sudden.
they were,
Like,
but this is like
it's cancer.
what Chadwick Boseman
Cancer, it's
represented
just,
amongst the
and right,
community, and the fact that it was cancer. I
absolutely,
just feel like this is going to be a very tough one to watch and very tough. But
absolutely,
I think it's yeah. Again, it's going to make for a great moment in television history if he does win.
for sure.
But I'm not. I will say though, I think if anybody's the upset, if there is one, it's going to be Riz Ahmed.
I
I'm
agree,
just saying,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
If there is an upset, I think it will be Riz Ahmed.
Hmm.
But we'll see what happens. It would be interesting if Chadwick didn't win. Honestly, at this point, it's like it'll be very
I would be
interesting.
shocked.
The kind of
I'd be pretty shook.
I wonder what kind of response it would get. If he doesn't win, because are people going to
Yeah,
look at that and say that are they going to be offended? Because
right.
or they
Probably. I
or
mean, I'm sure
I'm sure
people
they
will
will be,
be.
but on the
Yeah.
same hand, you do need to understand they're voting
Right.
fairly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and
And it's art. It's art is subjective,
yeah,
and you can't necessarily be like, oh, because this person died, I have to now
yeah,
honor their work, even
it,
though somebody else did a better
yeah.
job than them this
I
year.
think they'll do a good job. I mean, I'm sure, like, even if, like, Riz Ahmed does win, like, he'll go up there and say, this is for
Oh
Chadwick.
my
I want to
gosh,
dedicate this to
absolutely.
Chadwick first and foremost,
Yeah,
like, I
he'll
want
say
to.
something like that for sure.
Exactly. So I think that they'll
He'll
handle it,
acknowledge
but
it.
I just,
I
I
think
will be
anybody who
interested.
wins would acknowledge it.
Yeah.
I think even like Gary Oldman, like anybody who
Oh,
won that
that's what I'm
award
saying. That's my
would
point.
like take a moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If there is one upset, I think it is Riz Ahmed. I think that his performance was
Hmm.
that surprising to people that he
Hmm.
is that good of an actor and that he's never
Right.
like shown that before, and like
Right.
the level of the mentality he clearly had to get into for that role was just unreal, and I think that it is the deserving pick at this point for me, but we'll see what
Hmm.
happens. Yeah,
Nice.
so that was actor. Let's get to best
Actor.
actress.
Actress. All right. We have Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Andra Day, The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand, Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman.
It's so hard on this one. This is actually a tougher one
Yeah.
because, okay, so Pieces of a Woman, what's her name again? Gosh dang, why did I just forget it?
Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby, I don't think is going to win.
Me neither.
I think
You can count her
that's the
out.
one that we can take out, I think, easily. And that's because it's unfortunate, and I haven't seen the film, but because there's so much controversy surrounding the movie, the fact that
Right. They're
Shia
not going to want to
LaBeouf
honor
was
it.
her co-star, and he's obviously, things happen this year with him. So
When you have Frances McDormand and Carey Mulligan and Viola Davis up there, like,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Viola is like, she could do it.
Powerhouse.
I haven't
She
seen
really
I
could.
haven't seen Ma Rainey, but if she gives anything near what she did Fences, it's
Right.
possible. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be at least on the same level, at least.
If it's on that level, it's possible. I'll let you know right now. Carey Mulligan, I don't think is going to get this, but she could.
Me neither. She's my pick, though. She's the one I would vote. If I was in the Academy, she's the one I would vote for.
Again, as far as performance, Frances McDormand is more deserving than Carey Mulligan, but as far as who hasn't gotten it yet, I'm going to say Carey Mulligan, and that's why I'm rooting for her because, but I would be just as happy almost if Frances won because Frances McDormand did give one of the best performances of the year. So,
right.
I again, it's hard because Carey hasn't gotten one, so I really want to see her take it, but will she is kind of the question at this point.
Right.
I think she could. I'm not saying she won't. I don't think she won't. I mean, she could be an upset here. She could be. Again, I gotta see Viola Davis and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. If it's on that Fences level, they better look out because she is a powerhouse of an actress. That's for damn sure, and she clearly is capable of giving amazing performances. But I just feel like with the ways that the Oscars go, it actually might not be her because she has won, multiple times, and so I think that it's just I could easily just see Frances McDormand winning this. Honestly, I think Frances McDormand might. Nomadland has gotten like crazy ass hype this year.
Yes,
it's like at the top of people's lists.
Right, exactly.
So I
could even win Best Picture. I wouldn't be surprised if it won Best Picture.
For sure. All right, let's talk about the big one. What do we got?
Speaking of Best Picture, all right, we got Where to Go. It's right. Where to Go is right here, my darling. Yes, it's right here. All right. First, we have The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and the Chicago of the Chicago 7.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Before we talk about these, I'm pissed for two reasons. One, Zendaya did not get into the Best Actress category, and I would put her above Carey Mulligan and Frances McDormand. Just want everybody to know that. I think that is ridiculous that she didn't make it in there. I forgot to. I wanted to bring this up because it's important to me to talk about this. The fact that Zendaya did not get nominated. There's two people I would take out personally, and I don't understand. I don't understand why she's not in that category.
Wow.
That is stupid. Her performance was incredible. She gave it her all in Malcolm and Marie. She gave it her all. It was raw. It was real. It was emotional. It was heart wrenching. It's everything you would want in a great performance. The fact that she didn't get nominated, say what you will about the movie, but the fact she didn't get nominated is criminal. That said, I was really hoping that Malcolm and Marie, I remember watching that and saying that's going to be a Best Picture nominee. The fact that it's not pisses me off. I think that it should be. It is my favorite film of the year so far. So
wow.
Anyway, sorry about that. Best Pictures, the ones that are there though. Again, always going to be disappointing because not one of them is Malcolm and Marie, but
right.
That's my rant. So
yeah, my pick, I've only seen Judas and the Black Messiah and Promising Young Woman, 30 Minutes of Nomadland, but again, my pick is Promising Young Woman here.
I, for the longest time, thought Trial of the Chicago 7 would win.
I don't think it's going to win. Best Picture.
Aaron Sorkin's not nominated in the director category.
Exactly.
So, and that's rare. That is rare for a Best Picture winner to, not to have their director nominated.
Right.
That said,
Every time that happens, though, I'm just like, so this movie just directed its fucking self? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Like, I'm like, you're the
Sorkin should have been in
Academy.
that
You're
category.
supposed to, yeah, I'm like, you're the Academy. You're supposed to understand this fact that a movie doesn't direct itself. That if you're, if a
Yes.
movie's gonna win Best Picture or, someone's gonna win Best Director, but then not be nominated in either in a different category, it's like, what is it? What?
Yeah, Sorkin should have been in there. Listen, I think I think it might win. I know that like it's rare. It's a
Chicago
rare.
7?
I know it's rare, but I think it might.
I don't think. I think you're wrong.
I think it might. It's gonna be that or Nomadland. That's where I'm
I
going
think
with
I think
this.
Nomadland.
It's gonna be that or Nomadland. I think like Nomadland will probably be the winner, but like Chicago 7 might sneak up on it. I think that might be a weird year like that where it's like, I think this might be it where the director wasn't actually nominated, but the movie actually won. I think it's possible.
Right.
I do. I don't know why they didn't nominate Sorkin. I find that to be odd myself, but
Because it's not gonna win Best Picture. That's why.
that's not true though. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that if you look at the hype behind Chicago Trial 7 or Trial of the Chicago 7 and you see like how
I know it's
much
a lot of like consonants in there,
yeah,
like the trial of the Chicago
you
7.
see like how much people just like latched onto it, it might win. But Sound of Metal's in this category too, and I think Sound of Metal is another sleeper pick because in Sound of Metal, I don't know which one I like better between that and Chicago 7. I think that they're both so damned good.
Right.
Man,
I think Minari has a chance to sneak up in there as well and take Best
maybe.
Picture because
I
there's a lot of hype around it, and also so does the
There
Academy still
is
do they do the ranking system or do they do the first choice, second choice? Do you know? Because it used to be like back in the day you would just write down like, well, it used to be you used to pick like just one movie that you'd say, so you're like, I
mm,
think Promising Young Woman is my vote for Best Picture. But recently I think it's still like this, you rank all of them, you put them in a ranking.
I don't know.
So and then it averages the ranking, so sometimes if there's a movie that like half of the people loved and half of the people hated, even though it got more votes than like the movie number two is still going to win Best Picture because so many of those lower rankings brought that one down. You know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
everybody has like the same number two and number three, that's the one that's probably going to win.
Yeah,
You know?
I just don't know though
And
if
I think
that's still
Minari could be one of those. You know what I mean? That's like
maybe,
everybody's
but
number two, number three.
maybe, but I don't see it being the winner just because I get where you're coming from, but I don't see it even
Yeah.
making that because to me it's like yeah, like it's a foreign film and clearly like, we want to see more of those win, but I
Right.
haven't heard nearly as much hype about Minari as I was for Parasite when it was coming out. I just don't
Oh
see
my
it
God.
winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that
Agreed though.
the fact that we had like movies like Sound of Metal and
Mm-hmm.
Trial of the Chicago 7 that were even with an Aaron Sorkin behind it, these movies came out and they shocked people. Like they were surprised. It was surprising to people how great those two films were.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I actually can maybe see Nomadland not getting it is because now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more is because it is a first time filmmaker, and that's actually not something that usually goes to a first time filmmaker. Could, not saying it
Right.
won't. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that I don't see it, and it is a
Mm-hmm.
rare year in the fact that we had two first time filmmakers whose films got nominated this year, but
Yes.
so it's rare in that way, which speaks volumes to how great the films were. But the more I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about it, I'm like, well, maybe not, because and the other thing I like to think about when it comes to the Academy is they definitely like an element of fun and power coming from
Mm-hmm.
their films. And I think when you're looking at what is the most powerful film of the year, it's definitely The Trial of the Chicago 7. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Judas and the Black Messiah is powerful, but not in the same way that like Trial of the Chicago 7 is. Trial of the Chicago 7
Okay.
is not only powerful, but it's
I don't know about
rewatchable.
any.
It's
Right.
you could watch it. It's got a lot of rewatch value to it. And the same
Uh-huh.
thing I feel like with Sound of Metal. I feel like Sound of Metal is a movie that people are going to want to watch more than once. And I think that that's always a trick to remember here, cuz remember, I mean, like think about Moonlight. You want to watch Moonlight like more times than once for sure, and I have. Birdman's another one I'll throw out there. You want to watch
Mm-hmm.
that movie more times than once. Shit, why can't the Green Book? You definitely want to watch more times than once. I think we need to think about the rewatch value here. Parasite, you want to watch that more than once for sure. Like the rewatch value, I feel like we need to take into consideration. I don't want to watch Judas and the Black Messiah again. I'm sorry. I thought it was a great, fantastic movie. Did everything it needed to do. I don't want to watch it again. Same thing for now. Promising Young Woman has rewatch value, but I just don't see it being a Best Picture winner. But it could.
I know.
It could. Don't get me wrong. It could. But And then Nomadland, I definitely want to see it again, but like I want to watch it maybe like 6-7 months from now again. You know what I mean? Trial of the Chicago 7, I want to watch right now. I want to watch that again right now. That's how much I fucking love that movie. I would if somebody told me they were putting it on, I'm like, yep, I'm watching it with you because I love this movie. I think it just has that rewatchability to it, and the ending is so powerful. You will tear up. You know what I mean? But you'll have like happy tears of joy, not to spoil anything for anybody, but you will have these tears of joy by the end of that film, and you're just going to be so blown away and taken aback by the power of it. And Sound of Metal, I also feel like has a lot of rewatch value.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine anything being more powerful than Judas and the Black Messiah, because that really that put me like in a bad place. Like the whole next day after I watched that movie, I was like kind of depressed.
But I think like with the year we're having, that we're not going to be looking to do one of those. You know what I mean? Like if a movie is like, I don't see them being like, yeah, this movie really lifted my spirits. You know what I mean? Because like after the 2020 year we had, I think they're going to want to go with something that's a spirit lifter. I think the Trial of the Chicago 7 exceeds at that. I think that is the film that it exceeds at, and I think voting for a movie like that would spread a really wonderful message to the entire world that this is a story of people who overcame something. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's really what the Trial of the Chicago 7 is. It's a inspiring story that's powerful, about people that overcame something. I think that's kind of the message that people are looking for at this time in the world. So I think, in my mind, that could win. I could see it now. The more I'm thinking about Nomadland, I'm saying no, but it could. You know what I mean? The more I think about Promising Young Woman, I think that actually, now the more I think about it, the more I think about the rewatch value of our past Best Picture winners, I'm actually going to say that Promising Young Woman will take it over Nomadland.
Wow.
Because
I don't think you're right, but...
Oh, I do. I 100% think Promising Young Woman would take it over that, and Sound of Metal and the Trial of the Chicago 7. I think that these are all stories about people that, well, they're mostly stories about people that took something and took a negative and turned it into a positive. You know what I mean? And that just overcame things and things like that. Right. You know what I mean? Those are the stories I think that they're going to want to vote for this time of the year. I think that they're not going to be looking to vote for. I'm sorry, like Judas and the Black Messiah is powerful as hell, but it's depressing as hell. I'm not trying to be rude about it, but it is. I don't want to watch it again. I gotta be honest. I just feel like that's the movies that they vote for. The ones that typically win are movies that have crazy ass rewatch value to me. Movies that I want to watch again because there's something to them that like it just either the style was that polarizing or it was just. Again, it's just that much fun to watch, or it was just that powerful, or it made you feel a certain way that you want to watch it again, And I just feel like that's the direction they usually go. So that's why I'm going to go. I'll go in Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, or Trial of the Chicago 7. Those are my top 3.
I think Nomadland has it.
No, I disagree.
I don't even want to say anything else because I'm so confident.
I disagree. Nomadland is a feel-good film, but I disagree because of the rewatch value. I disagree. I disagree. Yeah.
All right.
You haven't even finished the thing. Take my word for it.
I know. I haven't seen Trial of the Chicago 7. Here's the thing, though. I'm so excited because we are going to do an Oscars pool. I'm going to force you to do it, even if you don't want to.
I'll do it.
And I'm so hyped because I win every single year. And that's not me like flexing. That's just because like every time I play against somebody, they're like, I don't know. I saw like one of these. I like Meryl Streep, so I guess she'll win. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But I'm like, now I have an opponent. Like I have an educated, like well thought out opponent.
I think it's Trial of Chicago 7. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it is.
No way.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely gonna be Nomadland. No. And I'm gonna win, and I can't wait.
I think there's 3 movies here that will take it over Nomadland, and I love Nomadland. This is coming from somebody who watched this movie and was stunned by how much I loved it.
Right.
Don't think it.
Also, haven't seen it. Again, haven't seen it. I feel it. Feel it in here.
It's possible.
It's in here.
It's my number 4 because again, it does have the rewatch value, but I don't want to watch it again right now. You know what I mean? It's like that's why it's my number 4 pick. I'm gonna say Trial of the Chicago 7. Now pending. I mean, obviously, I'll sit with this opinion and I'll think about it more. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually gonna be really surprised now if Trial of the Chicago 7 doesn't win.
All right. Take you up on that. That's how I feel about
Yeah.
Nomadland right now.
Yeah.
So
Hey guys, we so by the way, we got a lot of stuff to do after this, and Oscar's part took longer than I thought it would, so I will talk
yeah.
about the other stories next week. But the last one I want to get to is let's talk about the fact that Black Panther is or not Black Panther, Black
Black
Widow
Widow.
is going to Disney Plus in
Yes.
July. Let's talk about how we feel about that. Do you think that that's
So
a good move,
excited.
or see?
Oh my gosh, I am elated. I've been saying that they should just put it on HBO Max since last year. I've been
Yeah.
saying this for about a full year. I'm saying, if you know what the smartest idea would be for them to drop it on HBO Max. Thank you for listening, Disney Plus. I've been
See,
screaming at this for you for a year.
I gotta be honest. I'm really upset about this. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you
Interesting.
why. Because they spent so much time sticking to their guns. Wonder Woman went to streaming. They're like, nope, we're gonna keep
Yeah.
Black Widow in the theater. Nope, we're
But
just
I
gonna keep
told
pushing it.
yeah.
We're just gonna
This
keep
whole
pushing it
time
and
I've
pushing
been
it.
like, when's Black Widow coming out?
Right.
You're just withholding it for no reason. Like I
Yeah.
saw right through them. I knew they were just withholding it for no
And then
reason.
they caved. And then they're like,
Yeah.
nope, we're going to go to streaming in
Like I knew
July.
they
And they're
would.
even pushing it a month on top of that. What is the
Yeah,
point?
right.
What is the point? Just put it out there now. Just put it. I mean, okay,
I
they want to have it
know.
in theaters too, and they want it to make some money. Okay. But I guarantee, I bet you nobody goes to see this in theater. I bet some people will, but I don't think a lot of people are. The fact that it's going to be on streaming. We have grown accustomed to watching things on VOD, folks. And the fact is,
Yes.
to me, is I just think that it doesn't make a lot of sense to even not put it out now. You've delayed it this far, and the fact that it
Yeah.
makes me mad that you were like, yeah, we're gonna put it on streaming and we're gonna push it a month. Why? What's the point? And you're putting it out in the month that Loki's coming out. So really, May is your opening.
Right.
So put it out in May. Stick to the original release
That's
date.
all
This
that's
actually makes no
also
sense.
right. May would make so much more sense because that's the break in between the series
Yeah.
is because Falcon and the Winter Soldier ends in like mid-April. So you have like the end of April, or you have like most of April, and then all of May of no real Marvel content.
Yeah.
Drop it then. It will crush.
Yeah.
And then follow it up and then be like, oh yeah, and then in 2 weeks you get Loki. You're gonna keep your subscribers also.
Yeah. I just feel like the deadline to make a decision is well past due on this. Like, I
Yes.
don't feel like this is something that they should have just pulled last minute. Kevin Feige stood up on the stage and they were like dead set. Yes, okay, we've made a decision. May 17th,
Yeah.
we're putting it in the theaters. That's our final call. What? Why are you moving it again? If you're going to put it on streaming, just put it out in May where you have a month open and nothing else is coming out. This is one of
Right.
the dumbest decisions that Disney's made. They haven't made a lot of dumb
Yeah.
ones lately. Most of their
And
shit's been
May,
smart, but
you
this
realize
is
how much money
stupid.
there is to make from entertainment that it's released in the month of May? So much. And when you're not
Good
competing,
golly.
especially if you have nothing to
Yeah.
compete with the month
Yeah.
of May and you have no real competition.
Yeah. So they're going to put it out there when Loki's on, and it's going to be like everybody's going to care about Loki. They're not going to give a shit about Black Widow. I
Exactly.
don't think so anyway. Unless
Oh,
Loki
Black
absolutely
Widow should have
sucks.
came out last
Only thing
year.
I can
It
think
should have
of.
instead of Mulan coming out, it should have been Black Widow.
I
I would
agree.
have given you my $30.
I agree.
Why don't you call me Disney? Bob Chapek. I have so many ideas. I'll
Yeah.
give them to you for free.
Don't get me wrong. I
Give
mean,
me a
they
call.
got my money. I'm probably going to do the premiere and watch it from home. We'll see what happens, but I might
Maybe.
on this one.
I
'Cause-
probably will. For Black Widow,
yeah, because
that
it's
might
like
be that might be the
I
line
want to see the
that I
movie,
cross.
but like I honestly just don't care enough to see it in the theater. You know what I mean? It's like I
You're
really
right.
don't at this point, and it looks like it's
Right.
going to be a fun time. But is it theater worthy? They must not have that much faith in it. The fact that they want to throw it on streaming, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the fact
I
is
don't know if it's that they have little faith in it because also Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is also going to be put on Disney Plus in September. That got
yeah,
pushed back as well. So I don't know if it's necessarily like
that
a
I
lack of
understand.
faith. I think it's more of like we need to get the damn thing out because this connects into other storylines, and if we don't get this out, then it's going to delay our other storylines. You
Shang-Chi
know what I
makes
mean?
sense to me because Shang-Chi, they probably do need more time to round out the production. And plus, it's not
That
like
might have
it's
been why
something.
they did this then.
I don't think
you
so on
know?
Black Widow though, because it's been finished forever. The only thing they
That's
did
true.
was they redid the score, and that's
That's
what they
true.
used the pandemic to do. It's
You're
been
right. You're right.
finished, and this
You're right.
production just sounds like it's been a mess behind the scenes, and it's really making me lack faith in the film. I got to be honest with you.
I know. I just want to see it already.
Yeah,
Because like there's so much like that
I
exactly. Like I
hope
just need
it's
to see it
great.
for myself.
I hope it's great.
I hope it's great. I hope Florence Pugh kills and becomes, the
Yeah.
new Black Widow, and
I'm
I
sure
hope it's
regardless,
awesome.
she'll be great in it and she'll play a
Yeah.
character that we want to see again. Like I definitely have
Mm.
confidence in that aspect of it, but the thing that I'm really, plus I know something about her character in there already, but
Mm.
the,
She become
um,
the new Black Widow.
can't tell you.
Okay.
You're not gonna want to know.
That's the general guess
That's
of
fair.
that's not, I mean, that's like the public guess. When she
That's
was cast, they were like, so
that's
you gonna
fair.
take over?
I know what they're doing with her, but that's
But yeah, don't tell me. I
yeah.
genuinely don't want to know though.
That said,
I'll see it in June or
yeah.
July. June.
So I
Yeah.
guess for myself, knowing one of the biggest aspects of the movie, I guess that does make me a little less excited about it myself. But
Yeah.
on the same hand, I found out when this delay was going on, and again, when movies first got delayed, that's no fault to anybody. But the fact that, like, I feel like their deadline is way past due to make this kind of a call. And
Right.
they did this. It was I think it's just too little, too late. I think that they're kind of gonna sweep it under Loki, unless Loki completely sucks and they want this to save that show, which I just don't see happening.
I don't see it
I don't.
either.
I think that this is gonna get swept under Loki. I don't understand
Yep.
that. Shang-Chi, perfectly fine. I understand that. You have, again, you need to you need to round out that production. You know what I mean? I feel like that their production definitely got delayed,
It
and they probably
right.
want to put the finishing touches on something like that. Fair enough. Black Widow has been finished since last
Like
year.
last year.
Way last. I mean,
Yeah.
there was talk of it coming out in what was December of last year, and that never happened. So it's like,
Yeah, well, it was supposed to come out in like May of 2020. It was when it was slated,
I think it
I
was
think, or
March of
April or
2020.
something.
I think it was
March, maybe,
March
yeah.
or April. I think, yeah. So
Because I remember that was the next, like, I
yeah,
remember No Time to Die was actually No, A Quiet Place 2 was actually the next like movie I was planning to go see. Because
yeah.
again, I went to the movie theater all the time, and I remember like planning it out and being like, okay, so next weekend I go see Quiet Place, and then I think the weekend
Which
after that was No Time to Die, and then I think the weekend after that was Black Widow.
which
I remember like planning that.
by the way, Quiet Place 2 was extremely smart. They're confident enough in May that they moved up
Right,
to May. Why wouldn't Black
right.
Widow just move up? Just put it out now, for crying out loud.
Just put it out now,
Right.
honestly.
Right. It's like it's gonna do. I feel like it's gonna have the
Should have put it
same
out a year
results.
ago.
It's gonna have the same results right now that it would in June. I don't think it's gonna make a difference at this point.
I agree.
If you're
I
gonna put it out
agree.
in June, put it out now. It's
Yes.
one of the dumbest decisions they've made. There's no reason for it. They can come up with whatever corporate bullshit response or statement they want to for this. There is no good reason for it. This movie is done. It's been
Absolutely.
completed. If you're gonna put it on streaming at all, put it out now. Get it out
Yeah.
now. See how it does now. I get it. There's gonna be more theaters open in June, but I feel like we've as an audience, we've really grown accustomed to the streaming thing, and I don't think the numbers will be there, especially when people also have Loki on that platform to hold them over. And they don't want people to see it in the theater. Let's be honest. They want the $20 for a premiere. They want that.
30.
They don't want the people. It's 20, I think, for this, isn't it?
Oh, it's 20 for this one.
I think so. I think that's what it said. I have
Weird.
to reread it.
You're gonna do 30 for Mulan and Raya and the Last Dragon,
Raya
and
was
then be
20.
like 20
Raya's 20.
for. It's 30. No, it's 30
It was 20.
on Disney Plus.
Not when it
Last time
premiered.
I
It was
checked, it
20.
was 30.
It might be now. It wasn't when it came out.
Okay.
It was 20 when it came out.
I
Yeah.
looked into that. I'm still, every time I see it on Disney Plus, I like want to click on it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, nope.
No,
Nope.
this
It's
is
30. I just checked.
it's 30
So I was
now,
like,
maybe.
20,
Yeah.
I might be able to figure something
I
out.
thought I read that it was going to be, but who knows? I bet you
Yeah.
it's 20. I bet you it's 20 because they want people to go to the streaming thing.
Yeah.
And the other
I
thing
just
is,
can't
like,
believe there's a new original Disney animated film
yeah,
out in the world that I
that
just
you haven't
haven't
watched.
seen,
Right.
that I barely know anything. I know that her name is Raya and that Aquafina plays the dragon. There's like a tuk tuk thing.
And Kelly Marie
That's
Tran plays
literally
Raya.
it. And Kelly Marie Tran plays
Right.
Raya, that's right.
Right.
And that's literally it.
Yeah.
Usually I'm like have listened to every single song on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think it's a musical, but I would have like
Yeah.
read the plot by now. I would have known everything.
Yeah.
Would
No,
have seen it by now.
I guarantee Black Widow's not going to be 20. Or not going to be 30. It's going to be like 20. Because they want people to
That
pay
would
the
be
money.
better.
And they're going to look at Raya and
People pay
Mulan's
the 30
numbers.
though.
Not many.
People do. Not many, but they do.
Milan and Raya were they tanked compared to what they wanted.
Exactly.
So they're gonna
Exactly.
lower
That's
the
why I was
price.
shocked
They're gonna
they did
lower the
that with
price.
Raya.
They're gonna lower the
Yeah.
price for sure. It's not gonna be 30. I promise you, folks. They want people
They
to see it
also
on streaming. They're trying to
Disney
transition.
Plus raised $1
Yeah, I know
as
exactly.
well.
They're trying to transition to streaming. I think their best strategy would be to put it out for 20 if they're going to put it out at all, and I think that that's going to get people to watch it at home. I don't think that they're going to watch it at home for 30. They want people to watch it at home though because they want that money.
I think they might do 30 though anyway.
I disagree. We'll see.
We'll see.
But then again, they're making a dumb decision already with it. So
Exactly. They already, oh my God, they did it for Raya after it was
yeah,
a horrible for Mulan. Like
right.
Mulan barely made any money, and they're like, "Let's do it again." That was smart.
I thought Raya was going to be cheaper. I really did. I swore they said it was going to be 20, but whatever. Maybe it was when it came out. Maybe it's not now. I don't know. Either way, anyway, guys, we got to wrap up because we got something to do after this. So, yeah, thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it very much. And you guys, Samee, where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Samee Ramirez 14, and then I'm also on Twitter at Samee Ramirez, and also on Stereo at Samee Ramirez.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_ and on Instagram Dom_Martino_official. And if you want to check us out on Stereo at Dom Martino, and yeah, I've been doing a lot with Samee over there, so please go follow us over there. That'd be much appreciated. We've been having a lot of fun interacting with you guys on that level, and it's been really, really great. So definitely go check us out. And last thing, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. So yeah. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you next time. Later.